wow, that was good because usually we talk right over that thing, and that was
Right now, it's a little too much silence. It's one or the other.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Unpopular Review. Thank you for joining us this evening because today we're wrapping up Miss Marvel. Oh my God, Miss Marvel is so popping! It's so popping. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a great show. And tonight we're going to talk about it. I was late. I'm sorry. But it's all right because now I'm completely caught up and I've seen everything. And oh my God.
Mhm.
I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped. Full disclosure, I'm super hyped for Miss Marvel 2. That's all I'm saying. I mean
Ooh,
Marvel 2 because yo, this is gonna be
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So this episode, there was a whole lot going on, a whole lot of chaos. I
Steve
would
will
be
love that.
interested to know what's everyone's like favorite scene. For me, right? Um, the final scene, like the end credit scene. I don't know if we want to go there already, but that's probably my
Why
favorite
don't we
scene because
switch it up? I mean, this was the last episode. Let's switch it
yeah.
up. Why don't we talk about our favorite scenes? I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point everyone have saw it. They want to hear our
Mhm.
thoughts, and we want to say thank you
Mhm.
for tuning in and watching us. So
Mhm.
why don't you kick it off? You said the end credit. The end
the
credit.
end credit scene where we finally get Carol Danvers in the show.
Yeah.
I was thinking she was going to show up because as I told you guys before, what else she got to do, bruh? Come into the Miss Marvel. Kamala is a big fan. Why not have her show up? And I'm glad that they made, that happen at the end. And I was talking to one of our associates. Shout out to the Royal Dutch Podcast. And he asked Panda. He asked if do we think that Kamala turned into Captain Marvel? And I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts. Do you think she turns into her? Is that what happened? Is that what we saw?
No,
So
I
I
got a
guess
feeling it's some
okay.
kind of teleportation or switch, you know. Or
Hmm.
I think it has something to do with the variants, like in Loki. You know what I
That's
mean?
Okay.
interesting.
I think it has something to do with something like that. It
Okay.
could be. But
What
It's
about you,
interesting
Jack?
because when it happened, right? And I'm trying to remember if she had the bangle on, but I believe
I think
with
she did.
everything going on, because like she had the bangle, I might have said, "Oh, maybe that something happened that we don't know." But the way this phase 4 has been going has been like such time traveling and like people switching, like the way she would. It reminded me of like how Venom or Eddie Brock was one moment he was here and they just zapped him out. It just seemed like there was like a switcheroo. I can't explain it. I don't know what's going on. I know it just put a little intrigue on the future movie coming up. The Marvels or the
Hmm.
Marvels. So I don't know what we're gonna do here. All I know is I just wonder what Kamala's mother's gonna sit here and see this white woman in her daughter's room. Like, how
Hmm.
did you get here? So
Hmm.
and that's
Where's
really
Kamala?
interesting.
right,
Hmm?
You know she's
right.
like, where's Kamala?
Kamala, where are you?
Hmm.
Kamala.
Kamala,
You're not my Kamala.
where are you, Kamala?
So yeah, I thought
You're
honestly
not
for me it
Beta.
felt like more like they switched places. It's like maybe
Yeah.
she's zapped there and Kamala zapped wherever she had been. Um, because you're right, it did very much kind of remind me of that end credit scene in
No
Spider-Man.
way.
Now that you mention it, yeah, with Venom and Eddie Brock.
Yes.
But another shocker we got in this episode
Oh.
was a little teaser to a possible, introduction of a certain characters and creatures known as mutants. Because
Mm-hmm.
our boy White Chocolate, Bruno, he said to Kamala, "Hey, there's something different about your DNA, like some mutation."
Yes.
And that's exciting. But honestly, I feel like Disney's being like the tease, like being a little tease. They've been teasing this freaking mutant crossover since WandaVision, the first fucking
Yeah,
Marvel
but
show.
Well, you got.
they had to because of Fox and all the
Yeah, I
bullshit
was
with
gonna say
Fox and all
copyright
the back and
reasons.
forth and like honestly, right now Marvel is like walking on eggshells because of Sony and Fox. You know
I
what I
think,
mean?
but no, but they own they bought the stuff from Fox, so now they can say that stuff because I'm pretty sure if they had all the rights from the jump, and this is something I tell people a lot, if they had the rights for off rip, where if Sony didn't have Spider-Man, Iron Man wasn't going to kick off the MCU. So I sit here and say now that they kind of got these rights and they can say X-Men because even if you listen right here, and it took me watching it back, not even watching it back, but just scrolling to see what everyone's opinions was about this show or this episode. If you listen, and they play that, and if you look at the end credit, they literally said score X-Men 97.
What? They played it? I didn't even notice.
It's a really interesting. You won't know it. Like, you have to be super nerdy, and that wasn't me. All I'm saying is when people played it and you look, you're like, you kind of say,
wait. In Miss Marvel, they played it.
Yeah, like when he says mutant, it was like a real quick rip of it. And then if you look at the end credit, it does says X-Men 97. Like, they gave that credit to score. So I'm sitting there saying now they can sit here and say mutants, and they can say these because they're gonna tease the X-Men in there.
What you say? Hold on, I think you might cut out.
Huh? Oh, well, I cut. I'm saying now with them having the rights to mutants, they can say these things. Even though something I learned really interesting lately is that Kamala, she's not a what happened? Oh boy. I'll carry on. She'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just gonna say, Kamala, she's more known as an Inhuman than a mutant. But I think some people think it might have something to do with Inhumans bombing. Because remember, there was a TV show, a movie, and it didn't do so hot. There she is. There she is. But I was just saying to everybody that Kamala, she's more known as an Inhuman than a mutant. But a lot of people might feel like it has something to do with Inhumans, because it was a movie. I forget if it was a movie or a TV show, because I remember it being on TV.
TV show. And I think I heard something about, she was an Inhuman, but due to like the lackluster reception of Inhumans, they kind of switched it to mutants possibly.
And you know, I was sitting there and say, do you think this has anything to do with now that they're bringing an X-Men, like she can go, because I can see it now that they use mutant and then they bring in X-Men. Who else do you go to when you're classified as a mutant? You go to Professor Xavier.
No, you think she's about to be in the Forget the Children?
I think, because who else do you? I'm not. Tony's not here, and he couldn't do anything. You know, like Tony's not going to do anything. So who do you go to? Go ahead, Vic. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm actually, you know what? You make a good point, because look, Danvers is going to go to S.H.I.E.L.D. So then that means S.H.I.E.L.D. would lead Danvers to Xavier. At least that's the pattern that would make sense, unless Danvers already knows about Xavier. Because the only person that could really do this is either Danvers or Rambo. And if Rambo is already an X-Men, then that's different.
But she's not. She's not an X-Men.
She's like
she's not a mutant. But that's the thing. She's not a mutant. She might be super enhanced, but she's not a mutant. So there's a difference between being super. Like,
wait a minute. Hang on a second. We don't know the source of Rambo's powers.
I'll say this: when she did get her powers, she wasn't classified as a mutant as of speaking right now.
That is true.
That's the only difference. She's not classified as a mutant. Kamala is classified as a mutant or mutation.
I don't know.
Mutation, right?
Yeah, he did say, Bruno said she had a mutation, and I'm kind of 50-50. Like, if they wanted to like bring her towards Professor Xavier, I think they would do so by utilizing that S.H.I.E.L.D.-esque, organization that they introduced in the show. I forget the name of them exactly. But they're there to kind of like, get the mutants or the superpowers individuals kind of under wraps or under control. Or I see them going the route that they've been going, where they have like the apprentice type relationship. So, like Doctor Strange in America and Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. She could possibly be the apprentice to Captain Marvel.
She would be.
That's what I
think. Would be. Yeah. She would easily be, because especially with her love and affinity for Captain Marvel. I mean, it's pretty much like how you mentioned with Hawkeye, like Kate Bishop. To an extent, Spider-Man when Iron Man was around, like it was like these young I say Avengers, but even when you think about Wanda's kids, they were talking about how they were the part of the Young Avengers. Those two kids and two kids that caused all this hell in 616.
But wait a minute.
But you know what? I was wondering about that.
Because the old man said that Kamala means Marvel.
Yeah.
So now they're going to do a movie of the Marvels.
Yeah, with her in it.
But you know what I felt like with that scene? Right. It was that scene where, because I figured it was going to be something that led to she's going to hit, because she's trying to figure out, because if you look at the build up to that, they sat there and said, he asked, what is your superhero name? Now I'm still working on it. Yeah, we all trying to figure out, but you know your name need Marvel. And even when she said, oh, like Carol freaking Danvers, and he's like a
no idea.
I never heard of who that is, but it was like a cheesy way of saying how she learned her name, like almost like if you think about that Fantastic Four movie, the last one that they did, and the Thing said, that's fantastic.
I try not to think about that movie.
I saw the glimmer in your eye. You was just like, oh no. But you know, like how he led up to it, and he said, that's fantastic, because they were trying to figure out her name. He said, what did you say? And he said, that's fantastic. And he said, I have the name, and then it just cut off. So I'm just saying, I felt like that was a cheesy way for her to discover her name.
My thing is with if the plan is to introduce the Young Avengers, right?
Sure.
My concern is the varying age differences between the Young Avengers that we have, because we got Kate and Yelena, who are like 20 plus, 24 or whatever age they are.
Early 20s. We'll say early 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got freaking like Love from Love and Thunder, who are like practically babies, and it's like what and everything in between.
Oh, you're talking about the babies that helped out with Thor? I'm saying
no, I'm talking about Love. The
oh, that was the baby's name. Okay,
yeah.
That's her name.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And Wanda's little baby kids. It's like what's the age range here on these Young Avengers?
And then probably Morgan, freaking Iron Man's kid.
I forgot about her.
Her too. So it's like what's how many Avengers have we got from high school to pre-K?
They might be setting up for the next. They might be setting up for the next. I don't know how many years. I don't know when the MCU was the cutoff period, and then like, oh, let's restart everything, right? But I think also with because like I do see what you're talking about with the age thing. So you can have these. I don't think you bring in someone like you. I forgot about Iron Man's daughter, Morgan, and Timmy and Tommy or Trouble
and Ant-Man's daughter too.
Ant-Man actually gains powers too, right?
I mean, listen, I got a feeling that Ant-Man is gonna be like the Brady Bunch, like Three's Company, not Three's Company.
Wait, what?
All in the family. Like, I have a feeling it's gonna be like this whole family of little people.
Like, no.
That shit is gonna be great, because when Michelle Pfeiffer came back, I was popping. I didn't think that was gonna happen, but she came back, and now she's gonna be part of the third movie. And then the little girl's gonna be part of the third movie. And there's gonna be big pet ants everywhere. It's gonna be popping.
And also too, when you mention his daughter, I almost forget that there was a time jump, because you remember Ant-Man didn't survive. No, he was in the quantum realm or whatever.
Yeah.
But he aged, I guess, what was it, like 5 years or something? So she's like 15, 16 or something like that.
Yeah,
she's a teenager now, so I can see her fitting in that. How you say new Avengers or Young Avengers, however you want to word it.
I mean, but I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with age. I think it's just gonna be more with like abilities and the ability to work those abilities together. Because like look, Captain America is way older than everybody else, even though he looks.
But like visually, he's the same age. Like you can see them all going out to a club or something.
I get what you mean. Like if you're talking about if these guys are fighting a big threat, and I think everyone's leaning towards it being King the Conqueror, right? And you have these young Avengers, so you have King Bishop and all the
with Jonathan Major's sexy eyes. Great casting. Glad to see him.
You got
see him on screen, huh?
Okay, I say no. I heard you talking. I was like, wait, what? You're talking about King the Conqueror?
Yes, gorgeous, sexy, great casting. Love to see it.
Yeah, he should be out soon. He should be around soon.
But I was saying to say what you're saying. I see what you mean by the visuals. You're talking about Kate Bishop, Spider-Man too, because you include him because he's in that young bracket. Mm-hmm. But then you talk about like the young kids. You know who the kids remind me of? Remember those kids who caused all kinds of hell and Arthur? They always kept messing with DW. I can't think of the name. Timmy and they were like these two
little bad kids.
Yeah, they were like really bad. They look like they just always wrote graffiti with crayons. That's what those kids
were. There's always a Bulk and Skull. There's always a Bebop and Rocksteady.
And Bulk and Skull, absolutely. I appreciate that reference so much.
There's always something.
But she mentioned her favorite part, and we jumped all over talking about what could be your phase 4, and I love it. But what was your favorite spot on Miss Marvel on this particular episode?
I already said myself. Vic.
I'm sorry, I meant Vic or Uncle.
Well,
You,
I mean,
I'm
no, I
talking to you,
mean,
Beta.
my favorite spot was already mentioned, so I'll have to pick another one because literally the whole thing when as soon as he said mutation, that shit just got me open. But I
Mhm.
think I'll have to pick another one because other than that, it's just now mind you,
Well, if you want,
I
I'll
didn't get
let
to
you
talk
think.
about.
Okay,
I'll tell
you
you
just
this.
talked
I get
right over me.
wait. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
you're fine. No, he's
I
great. I
figured it
don't
out.
blame
I
you.
figured it out because I will say this because
Mhm.
I missed the last episode,
Sure.
right?
But we'll be back.
One of my favorite things about this whole thing was the background of this. Like, and mind you, and like, and no, and the other thing, like when she got to go back in time and like pick up her grandmother and then be like, "Oh, nanny this, nanny that," you know what I mean? And then she like, and then the whole how the whole thing became full circle about how she picked her up and then led her to her father and all of that. She got to see her great grandfather and everything, and she was able to time travel. Now with that, I have a feeling that that has something to do with the whole switcheroo with Carol Danvers. You know what I mean? Because she might end up at another time, but we're not gonna find out till we see the Marvels. So this is the reason why now I'm excited about the Marvels. Because let's be honest, like Captain Marvel one was okay. It wasn't necessarily the best, but I think that after this show, it's gonna be the Marvels is gonna be really really good. And that's why I always say like it's good to watch the shows within the movies. I like that like we cover all of these shows and these movies because they're all linked together. If we
Yes.
didn't watch Loki, if we didn't see WandaVision and we didn't see there's a lot of things that we wouldn't know. I personally don't think that this show can be watched standalone. I mean, I think it'll be entertaining enough, but to understand everything, I don't think you can without watching all the other stuff.
But Jack, did you say your favorite scene of the episode?
I did not. My favorite scene. I mean, you guys like nailed some really good spots, and hopefully mine is just as cool. But I'm a big fan of the costume reveal. So I feel like each episode there was always like this spot where you got to see a little bit of her costume. If you look at episode 5, practically her costume was there. Her costume was pretty much there. So when you see in this particular episode, and then the mother too, I mentioned plenty of times, like for me, one of the my least favorite things was them with her revealing her secret identity. I just feel like it just takes away, but it is what it is. And when the mother sit here and says, "Beta, you can't," I'm sorry, that sounds like the Terminator, but Beta, you can't go outside
Beta.
looking like that. Yeah, Beta, it sounds like fucking Arnold. But she gives her the costume and she's so like happy and joy, and then you see her running, and it kind of gives me that feel of like when I got to see in Falcon Winter Soldier, and you got to see Falcon in his Captain America suit, and it just looked so freaking BA, like totally badass. So seeing her in her costume, it was just so cool to see the live action costume. And also, as a guy who wears Chucks, I gotta say, great footwear, madam. Um, it,
I
it,
mean,
it,
the whole
it
indie.
was so cool seeing it. Even and I do want to mention something because I know we were going through some things. Um, I thought the scene was really funny where they go into the Moss, right? And also too, did anyone realize something different how this episode started? This episode started off with some things are going to almost like giving you an idea, like some things this is fictional and there's things you're probably not going to like about it. Did anyone catch that in the beginning? I
Yeah.
forgot the exact words because I
Mhm.
didn't see that the first 5 episodes never did that. They did it here, but and the Moss, White Chocolate and Cameron, boy, they're like running from like damage control,
Mhm.
and Homeboy really helped him out. I forget the guy's name, but he helped him out. He said, no, you guys need disguise," and he just put
Mhm.
hats on him, and the
Mhm.
boys are waiting for more. They're waiting for more. And he says, "Go, go, go!" And then
I mean, you know
it
what
was
though?
great.
You know what
Like,
though?
he didn't
If they
even give
would have
him anything else. I just
no,
thought
but
that
here's the
scene was
truth.
great.
If they would have kept their hat down, that halal hat, that would have been.
No, I said Harlem. It actually said Harlem.
I
But
thought it said
it's accurate.
halal. I thought it didn't
No,
say.
it said Harlem. And it's funny because
Wow,
to me, it's such an MCU trope where you just wear a hat and hoodie and no one recognizes you.
that's
Like, that's really how you get away throughout the whole thing. I just wanted to mention that scene because I thought that was so funny. I watched it a few times. I thought it was laughable. And also, I want to give another shout out to White Chocolate Bruno. I know I gave him a hard time in these past episodes, but he was a real one because he saw when Cameron and
Yes,
stop that. No.
yes, he was. Give him his just dessert.
I'm giving him his due. Hold on. So he there's a scene with Cameron and Kamala holding hands, and the hands are glowing, love is blooming, hormones are all up in the air, and they're getting ready to have their first kiss. And who ruins this? White chocolate. White chocolate. And he says, "Yeah, you could go this way." And even though he ruined everything, Cameron sits here and says, "Thank you, Bruno," because now he acknowledged white chocolate as Bruno. And Bruno does this scene where he's dancing. He said, "Yeah, you want to see me?" And he's dancing like such a white man. And these guys, Damage Control just legitimately don't care. This is like, I'm assuming 16, 17-year-old boy, right? Mm-hmm. Damage Control elbowed the fuck out of this guy. Hit him with the gun. Then they started stomping. No, they legitimately look at that scene when he's dancing because he's trying to distract them. And
yeah. But Damage Control really just seemed really underwhelming for me when coming in. It's like, okay, this is a bunch of kids in high school, and it's like they're fumbling through it like it's fucking Home Alone. And I'm like, it didn't make them look capable. And this being our first introduction to this whole organization of Damage Control, I just don't think it made them look.
I do agree. Like it was like the final boss was such a lackluster.
Hey.
Oh.
I wasn't finished.
Oh, then the mic is all yours. I'm sorry, madam. Oh.
But no, I was saying that I didn't feel like it made them look formidable, and if that's their first introduction to them, and that whole scene of the whole high school thing, I did not enjoy. That was probably my least favorite scene because it was just too like Three Stooges for me. It kind of took me out of everything. But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, personally, I liked. Wait, you guys muted yourself, so I started talking. You know what I mean? I don't know why y'all muted yourself, but I like the Regina George moment. What do I mean by that? The bougie white girl who was like hating on everybody in the beginning, and then
the funny thing is we named her Regina George on the episode you weren't there, and the fact that
is great. That is great because she certainly is very. It was a Mean Girls moment. Kamala got to be Lindsay Lohan on this one, and yeah, it was cool because she all of a sudden she just shows up out of nowhere and she's like, "Oh, I do my TikToks here," and then she's now like a part of the crew, out of nowhere with no makeup and no nothing, and she's all grateful and thankful and like learned something from Kamala, so which is cool. And mind you, at the end. Then now she's like best friends with the student body president girl and all of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel bad for Bruno because he should have gotten all up in that. But anyway, it is what it is.
Don't worry, white chocolate's gonna let chocolate down.
I mean, listen, man. Like,
I love how you get louder when I talk. Okay, go ahead.
He's going to MIT. He's going to MIT, so he's going to find some coochie there.
He's going to go into Caltech.
Yeah, but
Caltech.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though. He want marvelous coochie. Yeah, that.
I mean,
unless Carol giving it up, he ain't getting it from.
Now, Carol don't have time for that.
Carol ain't down with we already know what team Carol's on. That's all I'm gonna say.
I do want to sit here and say real quick. First off, I know there's a lot of things we didn't touch, and I'm gonna try to touch a lot of things real quick. And not so like Bill Cosby as I say that. There was these that scene where they had the whole group. I appreciate you, Uncle.
Yeah, you stupid, man.
Thank you. I know I am. That's what my teachers tell me. But there was this scene where all of them they gather up and stuff like that. And once again, I just really didn't like her just revealing her identity. That really bothered me a lot. I don't want to say bother. I mean, I'm not gonna lose sleep. I mean, I just lose sleep because I have a bad sleeping pattern. But I just felt like that was just I didn't like that so much. But I love that the brother was there because he was great. I love the brother. He's great. So anytime I see him, he's on screen, he wins. But I did want to talk about the scene of, we talked about Damage Control, but what did you guys think about where she actually showed what her powers can do? Where she does the and big them and she go, okay. I didn't even finish.
I think that there's still much. I feel like she still has to go through her training.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's still a lot more to it because she was literally just making floor panels.
Chris, man.
Yeah,
No, and that's why I sit here and
floor
say
panels
Professor
and black.
Xavier is needed.
Yeah,
See, get it together, see?
I'm trying. Again,
Man,
no, I didn't like it. I didn't like it visually. It looked just underwhelming to me. And I know, like I said before, they put the crystals on there to hide the wonky CGI and how stupid the fucking power is in the first place. It's like we gotta see her arms just stretching out, looking dumb, like.
I kid you not. I kid you not. And I feel like that's what it was. If they did not have the crystals, it might have looked cooler. I didn't understand. Look, I don't like the stretching ability. I'm not saying this. If there's a superpower, if I have a superpower, cheap plug, I would do speed. But I'm not. Wow, that sounded like something.
Hey,
I know, right? Like sitting there saying
out
I'm
of
about to do a
context.
drug test. But my point is, it looked so. I didn't like the CGI. I felt like you're better off just making her hands that big, and I didn't. I didn't like the crystals. I wasn't a fan of it. Can I remember
Hey,
asking one time saying, "Hey, what do you guys think about power? What do you think about the?" And I think it's just really the crystals because even the stuff Cameron does, I'm seeing all these crystals. I'm sitting there saying, "Jesus, I'm about to like pass the fuck out." Seeing all these crystals, I'm about to fall.
I like the crystals. I don't like the stretchy powers. And speaking of the crystals,
Sure.
when she was with Cameron in the crystal igloo, and she was like, "Oh yeah, she made a hole for him to get to the dock." She's like, "Okay, yeah, get to the dock. I'll buy you some
Daggers.
time. Yeah, I'll buy you some time." And the dude couldn't even poke his head into the hole before she removed the ice, the crystal igloo. I'm like, how is this buying time? How's this buying time? You're letting everyone see that he's escaping through the hole because you removed the wall that was hiding you two from everyone's vision. It makes no sense. And the fact that the whole community just, stood beside her, even though there's guys with guns and shields and could really do some damage, they decided to like circle around Miss Marvel. I don't know. It doesn't seem really all that.
But you know what bothered me about this? This
I
scene
see what
bothered me. Oh,
you're
see, I can talk louder too, Mike. I mean, Vic.
saying.
I'm sorry, it's the margarita kicking in. But there's a scene, and also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're liking this, give us a like, love, and share, and have your cold one. But I do want to say this real quick and then take the floor, Uncle. I was going to say, don't disappear on us. But the scene where, because so she's supposed to have her identity hidden, right? And this is why it bothers me. The mother goes, Baker, they cared about you. No. I'm sitting there saying, if I saw that, I said, you're related to her? Who are you? I'm asking questions. Whoa, why are you so close to this woman? It's one thing if people are covering and they're not doing anything, but you see her literally having a conversation like they love you. Who are you? Are you the aunt? Are you the cousin? What's going on here? I don't know. That's what I sit here and say. I think we're revealing the identity. I'm not wanting to throw that out there. Uncle, why don't you take the floor? I'm done talking.
Well, I mean, I feel like it was very culturally accurate. I mean, the old lady that kept talking about, oh, she's never gonna find a husband, like that whole thing. I got a feeling that and mind you, just that old world view, they definitely have, because you know what I mean. A lot of them, they still do arranged marriages and things like that. And mind you, it's funny because like on the newspapers over here in Jackson Heights in the Indian communities, they put like these little ads for like, oh, good family and da da da, parents and all of this. And mind you, it's this whole thing, this big union, like a family union, because you meet the parents and you meet the other parents, and then they go to this whole thing, and then at first the parents meet, and then everybody arranges. Like that's not how
Right.
the whole thing. And mind you, like in the modern era, oh man, no, 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 no. Why? Because
Well,
like you have a
it's
lot of Indian,
interesting.
it is because you have a lot of Indian girls that they're going through this, and then they have black friends, they have white friends, they have Latina friends, and all this other stuff, and then like they're not going through this, so like it's different. But then at the same time, some people like they feel like it's culturally right, you know. But anyway, my point in saying all of that is just that like a lot of the stuff that was in this show was very very culturally accurate and not whitewashed at all, which I really really appreciated.
Hmm.
Mind you, that's not my culture. It's just that I experienced it a lot over here. So I picked up on a lot of that, and I was just like, oh wow, look, they even got the, you know what I mean? Like, because when they do this, they're thinking. It's not yes, it's not no. It's like I don't know, maybe. You know what I mean? They even had that in there. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was cool, and like the nagging mother, and then the brother that like. The first generation American knows English but understands that the parents are just worried about everything. Like all of that was just great.
Matter of fact, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I know there's a lot of scenes we missed, and we're gonna get ready to wrap it up because I know we've been here for a whole 30 minutes. But something you mentioned that beginning of the scene where she tells everyone like, was it light girl, light bright or whatever, and then you see the father go like, oh, I didn't know, and then the guy had to explain, the brother had to explain, it's a contradiction. Mom tells dad. And that, which I thought was actually really funny because, parents, listen, we love our parents, right? But they don't know how to work technology. And when the thing is on speaker, you're going to hear everything. And he said, and then we eavesdrop on everything. I just thought that was like a really fun thing. And I do want to wrap up everything. But I was saying, I thought this was a fun show. I understand this wasn't for everyone, and that's fine. But I had fun reviewing it with you guys. The show, like you even said about the culture, there's a lot of things I don't know about the culture, and I felt like, and someone who's really part of the culture can explain it better than I could, but I felt like they did it justice. I do agree because a lot of stuff is always whitewashed, and I felt like they did a really good job, and I look forward to seeing, cheap plug, we did a review on Thor Love and Thunder Tuesday. We're going to be back here reviewing not only just She-Hulk, we'll be back for any Marvel content. Not even just Marvel. We got some other content coming, and I promise it's so soon. Just
wait, don't we got a bunch of one-shots coming?
We do. So speaking of cheap plugs, we do have coming up next week, we're going to bring back one-shots, but we are having a little twist. We're going to do one-shots of Superman shows throughout the history of Superman shows, pretty much. So we're starting
on forever.
Yes, we're starting with Krypton. We're starting with Krypton, going to Smallville, going to Clark and Lois, and Superman and Lois. So join us for those next week. Also, tomorrow we are going to be on Instagram Live. We are going to have another UPR battles. Oh, no. Yes, and it's going to be Wario versus Knuckles. Yes. So if you're down for a little UPR battle, join us tomorrow.
One more time. What are we doing?
We are doing UPR battles. Boom. There we are.
Man, that's a toughie right there.
It's going to be Wario from Mario versus Knuckles from Sonic. And who will win in the fight? We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it live.
What time we're going to be there, see? What time we're going to be?
Wait, you talking about
We're going to be there at 8 o'clock, CPT as usual, on Instagram Live.
Now, wait a minute. You talking about a fist fight or you talking about...
Listen, Vic, just join us live, 8 p.m. Instagram Live. The bad guys coming out with all these bombs. I am going for my hashtag 3 in a row. Caesar Superior, you won last time. You got it.
Don't lie to the people. Don't lie to the people now. He has none in a row because he lost the last time.
I did. No, but I'm going.
All I'm saying is that look, like Knuckles could get Chaos Emeralds. And have you ever seen Hyper Knuckles?
Oh, so now you're gonna give us material. What about Wario?
The other one got
Listen, you did a great job. Hold on.
Thanks for watching, everyone. A chaotic episode, but you love the chaos. That's why you're here. So
no, see, before you go, let's do some plugs. We got wrestling. Stop talking, Vic. We have wrestling. There's links. There's a link to gaming, and also please advertise your stuff.
There's also a link to my channel, and I hope to post the video this weekend. That's the plan. So join me for that. And so, yeah, again, it's Caesar Superior on YouTube and on all platforms. So feel free to follow and like and subscribe. And thanks for chatting with us.
And we'll be back with one shot. It's going to be super. And we'll be back tomorrow for UPR battle. Be quiet, Uncle.
I'm just saying.